But this was his first chance in a real NFL game. And yes, he did do that twice. He started going backwards, and they're going to have to do everything that they can to give him completions right there in front of him that he can make, or run the ball, or if they have to, call some runs for him. I mean, he should be able to move well enough to get a few yards here and there if he has to. So those are some things that he's going to have to do. And now that they've seen him out there in live action for half of a football game, I think they should be able to come up with some things that he can feel really good about on Sunday.
The Cleveland Browns practice field is in complete chaos, and what we're seeing right now could be the strangest, most confusing, and plain crazy quarterback controversy in the history of the National Football League. Rookie quarterback Dillon Gabriel is physically having trouble staying upright and balanced on the practice field as people are knocking him around like a pinball as they walk by. Shedeur Sanders is out there absolutely throwing dimes to Jerry Jeudy with such speed and accuracy that his teammates stop what they're doing to watch and cheer. But before we continue, I would like to ask you, my friends, to subscribe to my channel so that you can continue to receive news about Browns. We're not just talking about good throws here. These are elite NFL caliber franchising perfect spirals that have scouts, analysts, and every Browns fan with internet access wondering what in the world is going on within that team. And here's the one thing that makes this narrative go from interesting to totally crazy. The whole coaching staff, led by Kevin Stefanski, is acting like Shedeur Sanders isn't a real person. They won't say his name. They won't admit that he is clearly talented. They're acting like the issue is some kind of witness protection program for organizations. People, this isn't simply dysfunction anymore. This is a complete breakdown of the organization happening in front of everyone with cameras rolling. And we have every transaction, every piece of viral footage, and every insider report that shows this situation is far crazier than you would think. Let me show you the whole unedited picture of the total anarchy that is going on in Cleveland right now. This situation is more complex and complicated than any conspiracy theory you've ever heard of. We're talking about viral practice videos that are going viral. We're talking about coaches making up more and more ridiculous and desperate explanations. We're talking about experienced reporters doing investigative work that would make Woodward and Bernstein from the Watergate scandal very proud. And right in the middle of this storm of problems is Shedeur Sanders, who is stuck in what might be the most dysfunctional franchise situation since the last Cleveland Browns quarterback controversy, which happened about 3 months ago. This organization just can't help itself. Mary Kay Cabot is a famed and well-respected Cleveland Browns insider who has covered this team through every kind of success and disappointment imaginable for many years. Has been doing work out here that really deserves big journalism honors. This woman is meant to be covering the team with professional objectivity, keeping that fine line between access and accountability that makes great beat reporting great. Instead, she's basically turned herself into a one-woman documentary production firm around Shedeur Sanders. And you know what? Every Browns fan with a working brain is totally on board with it. Like she's an undercover agent photographing secret military operations at Area 51. She's been secretly filming Sanders' practice sessions. The content she's been giving to the starving Browns fan base is top-notch and worth its weight in gold. The clip that went viral on social media and drove NFL fans crazy from coast to coast showed Shedeur Sanders throwing throws to Jerry Jeudy that can only be described as works of art. These aren't just easy throws or completions that any good quarterback could make. These aren't just good passes that check off boxes. These throws are truly great, breathtakingly perfect and NFL level. They set franchise quarterbacks apart from journeyman backups. We're talking about passes that are so crisp, properly thrown, and at the right speed and location that a chip maker should really pay for them. If you watch the leaked tape closely and scrutinize every frame, you'll see everything you need to know about why Browns supporters are preparing to protest outside the team's facility, demanding answers and accountability. Sanders is doing footwork that is almost perfect, with the kind of technical accuracy that makes quarterback coaches cry with happiness. His dropback mechanics are slick, effective, and just how they should be. His arm motion is biomechanically sound, and he has that easy, compact release that sets good arms apart from great arms at the professional level. And the passes themselves are flawless, like a chef's kiss. We're talking about tight spirals that go as fast as they do in the NFL. The kind of zip that lets receivers run after they catch the ball. We're talking about throwing the ball with pinpoint accuracy so that it goes between defenders and hits receivers in stride. We're discussing about where to put things so exact that pass catchers don't have to change their routes or stop their momentum. These are the kinds of throws that get quarterbacks picked in the first round and paid hundreds of millions of dollars. Jerry Jeudy is Cleveland's best, most expensive, and most proven receiver. He's the one they're paying a lot of money to be their number one target, and these are the best passes he gets. You can tell that even he is really impressed and a little astonished by what he's seeing from the young quarterback if you pay close attention to his body language and facial expressions. During his career, Judy has played with a number of NFL quarterbacks. He knows what it looks and feels like to play quarterback at a high level, and his reaction to Sanders' throws tells you everything you need to know about what he's witnessing in practice. But this is where the narrative goes from being an engaging drama to being completely crazy organizational craziness. Shedeur Sanders looks like a mix of Drew Brees' accuracy and Aaron Rodgers' arm talent, but Dillon Gabriel is literally being pushed around and almost knocked over by equipment managers and other staff members. I want to stress that I'm not exaggerating at all for dramatic effect. There is real video going around on social media that shows Dillon Gabriel almost falling down because someone walked by him on the practice field, not a 300-pound defensive tackle hitting someone hard from behind, not a pass rusher who comes off the edge without being blocked and runs full speed, just a normal-sized person going through space at a normal walking speed. The comments on social media under these clips have been harsh, making fun of the situation in a way that only NFL fans can when they smell blood in the water. And to be honest, after watching the video over and over again, they're right to be so excited. One fan made a comment that was both funny and statistically correct that neatly summed up the Dillon Gabriel experience. They said that Dillon has done those 5 check down throws to running backs and tight ends so many times that he doesn't need to rehearse them anymore. He usually completes between 10 and 30 of them every game. That comment is both a harsh burn and a true description of Gabriel's conservative style of play. When you go back and watch a lot of Gabriel's college games from Oklahoma and UCF, and then watch him play for the Cleveland Browns, that's exactly what you see over and over again on almost every play. Safe, conservative tosses to the flat that don't get you very far, decisions that don't take risks, and put avoiding turning the ball over above anything else. The most boring, plain, and uninspired quarterback play that no defensive coordinator in the league is afraid of. He is like going into an ice cream shop that has 50 unique flavors, from salted caramel brownie explosion to mint chocolate chip cookie dough heaven, and ordering basic vanilla in a cup with no toppings. That choice is technically wrong. Vanilla is a perfectly fine taste, but why would you choose the safest, most boring choice when you have so many more thrilling ones to choose from? You have quarterbacks on your team who can throw the ball downfield and attack defenses vertically. Now, let's talk about the huge elephant that is in the room right now. Or to be more precise, let's talk about the coaching staff that has made the strange choice to act like elephants don't exist at all. Kevin Stefanski and his whole coaching team have been acting in ways that are so weird, unprofessional, and obviously petty for the past week and a half that it's hard to believe they could be doing it for any reason. They have all ceased uttering Shedeur Sanders' name out loud, not in news conferences with a lot of reporters and cameras, not in radio interviews where they are asked straight questions, not in any public place or recorded conversation at all. It seems like they've made a strange deal to pretend Sanders isn't a real person. Tony Rizzo from ESPN Cleveland has been watching this team for a long time and has witnessed every kind of Browns problems you can think of. He decided to do his own research. He looked over 8 different press briefings from the last 2 weeks and found something that was completely shocking. Kevin Stefanski never once, not once in 8 full news conferences, called Shedeur Sanders by his real name. Not even once. When you truly think about it, the behavior is completely crazy and unprofessional. This is a quarterback on your 53-man active roster. You drafted this player and are now presumably looking at how they might help your team in the future. This person could really save your franchise at the position they've been trying to fill for 25 years. The head coach is acting like Lord Voldemort is on the football squad, and no one can say his name out loud because they're afraid of dark magic. This week, offensive coordinator Tommy Rees jumped on the excuse and deflection train with both feet. He spent what felt like 17 straight hours at a press conference defending Dillon Gabriel with every possible excuse and reason. He wrote a lot of nice things about how fast Gabriel processes information and how rapidly he reads defenses. He said that Gabriel had a good comprehension of the offensive system and the playbook. He talked about how Gabriel was a good leader in the huddle and at team meetings. He talked about almost everything except how Gabriel actually played on the field, which hasn't been very good and has caused problems. And in all of that long, almost desperate defense of Gabriel Ree, never once spoke Shedeur Sanders' name. It's evident that this is a planned tactic by the organization to act like Sanders doesn't exist. And seeing it happen in real time is both very interesting and very scary. Thank you, Cleveland sports media. for your hard work and love of journalism. They have all had enough of this obvious rubbish. Tony Rizzo, in particular, has been on a warpath all week, and his analysis has become must-see TV for anyone who likes to see organizations fall apart, coaches do bad things, or just good old-fashioned sports drama. The man is bravely saying things that Brown supporters have been feeling deep within, but for some reason, they couldn't quite put into words or express appropriately. Rizzo talked about the scenario in a brutally honest way that cut through all the corporate and coach jargon and got down to the heart of what was truly going on in one of the most memorable and extensively discussed parts of his show. He spoke something deep and terrible. When your coach stops making sense, when the explanations don't make sense anymore and the choices don't make sense anymore, it's time for that coach to leave. Take a moment to fully think about what that means. This isn't some hot take artist trying to get clicks and drama to boost their engagement numbers. This isn't some random blogger trying to get attention by tossing provocative bombs. Tony Rizzo is a veteran sports reporter from Cleveland who has followed this cursed organization through every possible thick and thin. But let's be honest, when you look at the win-loss records, it's mostly been narrow. In another part, Rizzo went even further and gave a theory that is both darkly humorous and completely believable based on what we're seeing. He said that Kevin Stefanski might have gotten to the point in his coaching career where he didn't care anymore. You know precisely what I'm talking about when I say that mental place from your own professional experiences. That particular moment when someone is so fed up, so angry, and so done with their job and the politics that go along with it, that they are basically daring their supervisor to fire them. They cease worried about losing their jobs. They quit playing politics at work. They don't care about what happens next. They do anything they want because, to be honest, the worst thing that might happen is that they are fired and get their guaranteed money, which sounds quite good at that point. Rizzo is getting that exact feeling and energy from Stefanski right now because of how strange his choices are getting and how rude he is in public. The way the quarterback was handled alone, without taking into account all the other problems, is enough for it to be considered coaching malpractice. If there were an NFL ethics oversight committee, they would probably look into it. Shedeur Sanders is a young player with a lot of potential. He has shown nothing but incredible calmness under pressure, impressive maturity for his age, and the kind of elite arm talent that makes scouts and general managers drool over the possibilities. And for some reason, you won't even give him a fair chance to compete for meaningful playing time. At the same time, Dillon Gabriel is getting horrible game-changing sacks in the most important scenarios possible. It's even in the playbook that this is part of his job. Let's go over the specific game situations that Rizzo talked about since they show how bad Gabriel is as an NFL quarterback. 4th and 1, with the whole game hanging by a thread, possible playoff ramifications on the line. What does Dillon Gabriel do when the pressure is on and it's very important? Instead of just passing the ball to your talented running back for what should be the easiest and most effortless convert in football history, he takes a devastating drive, killing sack. The first half is over, and there are only 12 seconds left on the clock. There are no more timeouts to stop it. You are comfortably in field goal range, and all you have to do is spike the ball or toss it away securely to get 3 easy points before halftime. What does Gabriel do? He takes another sack that is entirely unneeded and almost impossible to explain, which almost costs his team those important points in a game where every point counts. They were unbelievably lucky that the field goal unit somehow ran onto the field like their lives depended on it, and the kicker somehow made a successful kick with almost no time left. These mistakes that ruin the game aren't just ordinary rookie mistakes that you can write off as being new and learning. In the most literal sense, these are rookie blunders, but that's exactly the point everyone is attempting to make. Dillon Gabriel is making the types of basic mistakes and bad choices that you would anticipate from someone who isn't ready for the speed, intricacy, and pressure of NFL primetime football. But for some reason, the whole coaching staff has decided that they are going to stick with Gabriel as their starter, even though they are treating Shedeur Sanders like he did something completely unforgivable, like hurting a teammate on purpose or insulting the owner's family. What do you truly think is going on here? Is this the worst decision about how to manage the quarterback in the history of the Browns? Is there any secret information we don't know about that makes this craziness make sense? Should Kevin Stefanski be fired right now for how he handled this? Or should he get additional time to see his plan through? Is it possible for Dillon Gabriel to become a good NFL starter with more practice, or is this experiment already dead before it even starts? When will Shedeur Sanders finally have a true chance to show the football world what he can do? That's the most important question. Drop your honest opinions, craziest hypotheses, and genuine grievances in the comments area right now, because this conversation is absolutely nowhere near to ending, and we badly want to hear from every single one of you. If you want to stay completely plugged in and up to date on every single development, every leaked video, and every insider report in this ongoing Browns organizational disaster, you need to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel right away without thinking twice. Set up those post alerts so you never miss an update. Because of everything going on in Cleveland right now, with practice film surfacing every day and the pressure building every hour, this story is likely to be giving us drama, debate, and news for weeks or even months. Right now, hit that like button, leave a long comment telling us what you really think about this total disaster, and sign up so you can join in on the discourse while this train accident that is sure to happen goes on. But guys, get out of the huddle for a reason. As football fans, we love this kind of NFL instability, dysfunction, and drama. And I'll be right here giving you every single twist, turn, leak, and bombshell as it unfolds in real time. Remain tuned, remain informed, stay suitably angry, and I'll see you next time.